as far as my journey goes and my healing process and what has helped me thrive, I would say geology has been a big part of that, just because I just can be. And that's a huge deal because I get real caught up in my head a lot. So those are the few moments that, like, I just can relax for a few minutes, and it's just really wonderful.
Kristine Hanks is an impassioned young person with a mind for social justice whose academic focus is on women, gender, and queer studies. Kristine is a professional advocate of positive sexuality and an intern for the Powerful Voices Project.
I really hit a rock bottom where all of these situations that were just like a weight on my back, like, were dragging me down, and I realized that I couldn't live a life that wasn't authentic to myself anymore. It needed to be something that was beneficial to myself. So for me, my experience happened when I was much younger. And I thought at the time that I was 6 and he was somewhere in the 16 range, and I found out recently he was 12 and I was 8. There was one day when he came over to the house, and I was playing on the swing set, and he came over to me and he asked me to remove my clothing, and I remember saying no, and that it felt really wrong, and I didn't know at the time, like, why it felt wrong. And somehow I got away, and I ran to the back of the house, and I was banging on the glass door, and my babysitter at the time was there, and obviously was confused as to why I was naked, and then saw him run off, and then the police were contacted, and they did an interview with me and my mom. And my mom went to the school and actually talked to the principal of the school about the situation, and his response was, well, what did they do to ask for this? So when I ran away from him, I remember feeling like really confused and scared. Just scared as to how I was going to tell an adult about the situation. Because I think part of me thought it was my fault too, and maybe I was overreacting. And when I got to the screen, or the glass door, I remember my babysitter, the look on her face was like, at first it was shock and confusion, like, why is this happening? And then, like, upon seeing him, she seemed angry, and I think partially I worried that it was anger at me. As the situation unfolded, I was assured that this was in no means my fault, or I didn't do anything wrong. As a result of that situation and what I know about other people who have been through sexual trauma, I think it's caused me to discredit myself a little bit. Not a little bit, a lot. So I put others before myself and have wound up, as a result, in several abusive friendships and a couple abusive relationships.
As far too many sexual assault survivors do, Kristine found herself in a vicious cycle of unhealthy relationships.
Research that I've done through school, women who have experienced any kind of, like, physical abuse or mental abuse or sexual abuse are more prone to get into situations that are the same again, because it drains, in my opinion, it drains your mental capacity, and you ignore a lot of the red flags that pop up because it's what you've already experienced in the past. So it's not necessarily a red flag, or you think, like, I can fix this person, or we can work past it. since then, like, I've really tried to the best of my abilities, knowing what I know now, like, to, if I see any kind of red flags with people, like, to talk about them with the person versus, like, just letting them continue, because I'm starting to understand where my thought process have come from, and try to reevaluate that, because I do have worth and value, and I can't keep going to the same things and allowing them to take away that from me, because in the past I've always been like, well, maybe I do deserve this, or maybe I'm not worth it. And since then, like, working at a sensuality shop and making friends with people who have like mindsets, ideals, opinions, it's really helped me start to, like, grow in a positive manner. I've learned what I don't need in my life, and I don't know, I'm constantly striving to better myself now and go for things that are good for me. Now I have these amazing friendships that are go both ways, and I'm just in a much, much better place than I was, having come out, having established these amazing friendships, starting a program that has been nothing but wonderful, and doing a job that I get to help people that are trying to explore themselves too, and just providing a safe and healthy environment in which to facilitate these conversations.
Kristine performed in her local production of the world-renowned Vagina Monologues, an awareness-building theatrical show that emphasizes empowerment and storytelling.
So then I got casted for the part, my short skirt, and I was totally enthusiastic and ready to do it. That piece was kind of meant for me, I think, even though I'm real uncomfortable in skirts. I wanted to do that piece because it's talking about how women who wear skirts, it's for them, it's not for anybody else, and you can't take that from them. And I met all these amazing people through the monologues, and it was just a huge game changer for me.
In the past 2 years, between finding freedom from a repressive relationship, connection among communities of people she relates with, and continually nurturing her own self-worth, Kristine is living more boldly and daring more greatly every day.
Today, the things that just help me heal and kind of get away from everything and not think about it is, I mean, I have a huge passion for geology, and nature, and I love going out in nature and collecting rocks, and actually my aunt is the one who got me started on that, from a very young age. She used to talk to me about how cool and how special certain rocks were, and I think that just was something that I held on to, and much to my mother's dismay, brought home many different rocks from an early age, and oftentimes she would tell me that they needed to go live outside with their friends. I like to make pendants, but I'd love to someday branch out into rings. But yeah, I really just like to do simple wire wrapping, and I really like to give the rock space to talk, because it's art in its own right. So I like to do a combo of, like, my art versus Earth's art, I guess. And that's also really a therapeutic practice for me too, because, like, when I'm doing wire wrap, I'm solely, like, focusing on that and absolutely nothing else, and it's also lovely.
Today, Kristine channels her experiences and passion into her work and her ever-present drive to create a more free and accepting community.
I don't struggle with talking out about it, and I'm really grateful for that because it means that today I don't blame myself for anything or feel that it's in any way changed who I am, I guess. There's definitely still stuff I need to work on, and would consider myself resilient. And the fact that since that situation and all the abuse I've been through, I'm able to pick myself back up.
Kristine is a phenomenal person and friend. Her journey is one of compassion, growth, and learning. The Powerful Voices Project is proud to have Kristine on our team working to support healing and thriving among survivors of trauma.